All right, everybody. Quick update here on my driving situation. I'm sure you're all very excited to hear about. Um, I had a 2014 GMC Sierra SLT and loved that truck. It was perfect in every way. Didn't have any complaints except for the cost. Bought that truck 3 years ago. It cost $36,500 when I bought it. I believe they're just over 50 new or something like that. 1500 series. And 3 years later, still owed about maybe 16,000 and some change, and got to where I wanted to lower my monthly payment. You never really notice when when you have your your car loan on automatic payment. You just see that money just kind of go out and go out and go out and go out. So it started to bother me a little bit. I don't care how much money you make if you're watching this channel anyways. That's a lot of money. So whether you make $300,000 or $30,000, a lot of money. So I went back and forth on should I just refinance that truck, lower the payment, or get something different. So at the time, I didn't really think it made sense. I wouldn't buy that truck for what I owed. And have to finance it. I didn't have 16 grand to put down on it, liquid. So the long story short, I decided to sell that truck and get something that I can pay cash for. I had a previous to the last truck, I had a paid off for a truck and enjoyed that benefit. Obviously, you do lose some reliability, some things like that. So anyways, leads me to what my goal was, is to sell that truck, and whatever proceeds I got out of that truck, I was going to use to buy a vehicle cash. Had it on Facebook Marketplace, had it on Craigslist, and didn't really get too many offers of what I was looking for to get out of that vehicle. But ended up selling it to CarMax, and it was a very, very smooth transaction. I'm sure I could have got more if I just waited a little bit longer, but sold it for $24,000. So had it for 3 years, bought it for $36,500, and was able to sell it for $24,000. Along the way, I kept that thing in very, very good condition. I waxed it, cleaned it, so it's a good truck. It had 75,000 miles. I think it maybe, when I sold it, I think it maybe had 40 something when I bought it. I've always kind of been fascinated with buying cars and selling them, fixing them up. Took auto mechanics in high school, a little bit of a shade tree mechanic, or amateur mechanic, I should say. So I'm okay with a little bit higher miles. I don't drive that much as well. So anyways, get on to the vehicle. I do tend to stick to Chevy products. I do like GMC, Cadillacs, things like that. So most of the trucks were still very expensive. You know, you would probably get something in the range that I was looking for. I don't know, like a 2003 with 100 something thousand miles and all that sort of stuff, and which is fine. But just I didn't like the trucks that were there. So I ended up getting, I think, $7,294 clear from my truck, and that was my goal. Just kind of a little made a little game out of it. So what I did is kept looking for certain vehicles, and I kept coming across Yukons, and I've always liked Denali's. I've never owned a Denali version, but obviously they're a little bit more nicer typically for that year than the regular GMCs. So I started looking at the really old ones. You know, I saw videos on YouTube where guys were getting 300, 400,000 miles out of the 2003, 2004, 2005. I still didn't really mind that body style. It's not bad. Obviously it's dated, but I don't care. Some of those I believe you could get in like the high 100,000 mile ranges, where at the time were, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4,000, something like that. So then I started looking, and the 2007 and up body style grew on me a little bit. I started looking at GMC Yukons, and basically 2007 was the first body, or the first year of that body style, and started noticing that most of those were in the nines, $10,000, whatever. Didn't have that. There were some that were in rougher shape that kind of fell into my price range, and one was listed for $9,000. I was watching it. Eventually, I think it was dropped down to $8,000. And normally, whenever I see a vehicle, I'll negotiate price when I'm there in person. This vehicle was about an hour and a half away, so in the interest of time, I just threw her my offer. I said, "Hey, look, I got $7,250. That's my budget." And they said, "Okay." When everyone looked at it, long story short, sitting in the new vehicle. So, what can you get for $7,250? It is July of 2019. Let's show what I have here. Here it is, 2007 GMC Yukon Denali, 158,000 miles. Yes, it's a lot of miles, but again, I'm okay with it. I think it's going to be fine. Yes, it will require some other maintenance that my other vehicle maybe did not, but also I did have some upcoming maintenance on that 2014 as well. So some of that's going to be a little bit of a wash. So one thing I didn't mention is what I plan to do is drive this for a while and pay myself car payments and get to a point to where I can sell this plus what I've saved and buy something more expensive and keep ratcheting up from there to whatever extent I want. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Just make a little game out of it. And meanwhile, so far I have absolutely loved this truck. I do not miss much of that last truck, other than went from a truck to SUV. That said, it does not have a lot of the modern features. Does not have Bluetooth, at least that I found anyways. It's got the OnStar calling thing, which is not my speed, but so a lot of the modern type functionality, the connecting to your phone and stuff like that, is missing. You can replace the head unit. I may get into that. So the main purpose of this video is to just record my progress of going from a newer vehicle to an older vehicle, using my YouTube education and past education to go through fixing some of these problems. And who knows, maybe this thing will die on me tomorrow, and that'll be a massive expense. So looks good from here. So let's get into some of the issues. Issue number one, that hood. I believe that is the reason why I was able to get it for what I felt was a lot less than all the other ones were going for. I believe that this was just heavily oxidized and they just tried to spray paint it. Well, they told me they tried to spray paint it. So my thoughts were, worst case, go to Maaco, get it sprayed, $200 I'm guessing. Go to a professional, get it sprayed. I can take it off, I can maybe sand it down, prep it, all that kind of stuff. Have a pro do it, $300. Or look out for a new hood, Craigslist, Marketplace. I think that might be my best option at this point. So, issue number one. Issue number two. Lights are in rough shape. Not a big problem. If you're watching this, you could probably already seen 17,000 videos on how to take care of the lights. So I'll record that, my results, see how I do there. Those two things. Also the roof. You can see, we'll get up there. Roof is in rough shape. That is going to be a buffing project for me. Buff it, wax it, it'll be fine. Nobody's ever gonna look up there. Just finishing out the rest of the truck. Black, a lot of scratches from here and there. There's one here on the fender. Couple little things there, blemishes, another scratch here, there. It's fine, I don't care. However, I do plan to get after it with some compound and some polish using my YouTube education. Tires are good, but they are mismatched. So there's Goodyears and Coopers, and I actually was able to transfer my alignment at Discount Tire from the last truck to this one, and I did a so no charge alignment for that. They did rotate the tires, and for whatever reason they mismatched it. So there was a Goodyear on the back or the Goodyears were on the back, and for some reason they moved a Cooper to the front here and a Goodyear. So anyways, it's mismatched. I don't like it. I guess that's how you're supposed to rotate tires, but I don't like them mismatched like that. So going around to the back is fine. There's a little bit of interior thing I'll get into in a minute. Tow hitch, everything's fine there. On the side, again, more scratches, it's fine. Here's the Cooper on the back, Goodyear on the other side. So sides and rear look good. Hood, lights do not. All right, on to the inside. Next problem, that seat does not move very well. Here's where YouTube failed me a little bit, or my research is, I knew this going in, so I wanted to research kind of what was needed to repair it. Almost everybody has a problem with the switches. You replace the switches, that's fine, works great. This is not the issue with that. I'll post a video later. It's basically an issue with the gear drive underneath. You can't just buy that part apparently, so new bottom parts are 300 something. Anyways, so I might be able to find a junkyard one. But I was able to take it out, get it into a position manually where I like it, and it's fine. Currently driving with it fine. You know, little issue there with the rubber, that's fine. Sunroof, I love it. DVD works. Seats are in decent shape. A little bit of issue there. This area here is notorious for GM vehicles to wear out. I don't know if she replaced it or not, but it's perfect shape. Also right here, this year, this series typically wears out there from people putting their arms in there. If you don't know about these cars, the dashboards are awful. Typically there are plenty of cracks in them. Usually right around the airbag area, there's a crack as it gets real thin there, and then sometimes right around the gauge cluster, it cracks here as well. Everything that I saw online were just, you know, couple cracks here, couple cracks there, and didn't really think much of it. I can do the repair. I've seen the full replacement. I've also seen just fixing the cracks. So before I went over there, I knew it was cracked, but I didn't know how bad it was. I'm gonna save it for later, but it is very cracked, and basically the whole dashboard's shot. I could potentially still work piece by piece by piece to get it all together. Yeah, don't know what I'm gonna do. Right now it's covered up, who cares? So I think the new dashboard is $384. So worst case, it's up to that plus time. So keep that in mind. About 500 bucks now, I'd be into it, about 8,000. So still feel like I got a decent deal. Motor runs good. We'll get into it in a minute. The other issue typically for these vehicles are these buttons here. Typically the paint will wear off. Look at any ad, you'll see that. You can buy stickers to you know, go over this, and you can fix it that way. So actually, when I was test driving it, I made a comment on how good her controls looked here, because most of these were out, and I said, well, you know, I started talking about stickers. She's like, oh, those are the stickers. So at first it kind of bothered me, but I'm like, if I didn't even notice it and I knew about that problem, then who cares? But you can get these parts, you know, junkyards, or you can also get the new ones. I think they're $200. I don't care about paying $200 just to fix that part of it. The one issue though, when you put the stickers, I haven't really even driven this at night yet, it's so new, is the lights apparently don't shine through, but I'll get feedback on that. Also, this is typical as well. The cigarette lighter caps break off. She gave me new ones. Also gave me extra stickers here, but I don't care. I'm going to replace these all together with the USBs. So have USB chargers there. The newer vehicles have the charger here. Mine does not. Also, I probably want to get either a junkyard version of this or the factory navigation. I don't need it, but it's a little bit nicer. I think you can program backup cameras and things like that into it. So I do like the little bit of the larger display. These little dash things are kind of, they half work. Console, I should say. One thing I don't like about this is the console is very small. The console here and here is a heck of a lot smaller. I didn't think I liked or needed that, but my last vehicle was good in that way. But sunroof works, no leaks, no issues. I don't want to bore you too much with the back, but seats are in great shape. Interior is in great shape. Generally speaking, no problem. Oh, so one issue. So these have the flip up seats here where it'll automatically flip up. Passenger side works, driver side does not. Motor is working, so I think it just could be stuck. That will be a project as well. So these aren't WeatherTechs, I don't know what they are, but nice mats here and the one in the back. So yeah, just a look here at the shape of the vehicle. AC works great, front and back. Auto start. .2 liter. It's thirsty, but sounds fantastic. Door works. Another mat cover. This little defroster thing needs to be put back there. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Put back there. Small minor problem. Small and minor. Glass comes up fine. Motor's a little dusty. Didn't see any oil leaks. Seems to run fine, but who knows? They're very reliable motors, but obviously they're not perfect. Fan's kicking on. So the only other thing that could be an issue is when I test drove it, oil pressure was fine. I've driven GMC products for, I don't know, 25 years. And oil pressure is always at 40. This was at 40 when I drove it. Not until a couple days after, I noticed it was at 40. And then at idle, about 10 minutes in, it was down to 20. Look on the internet, forums, all that kind of stuff. You can hear anything from, you know, get to the dealer immediately and your engine's going to fall out, to it's not a big deal. Minimum pressure is like 6 pounds or something like that. But anyways, that's something that I need to watch out for. This has a new starter. This also has, which leads me to the story, there was an oil leak. The oil gasket was replaced. The oil pan gasket was replaced, and also the rear main seal was replaced. So my thoughts were, that's good. Obviously, if the work was done, good. If it's not, then that's bad. But so there's a couple things, you know, concerns with a little bit of low oil pressure, and those things being done. Maybe they knocked out the oil pickup tube, something like that. But so far it's been fine. It's never dropped a foot below 20 at all. So anyways, that's my kind of initial start of owning this vehicle. Again, we'll go through the process of updating things, fixing things, whatever, and we'll post as we go along. Any questions, anything you want to see, any questions about this year vehicle, definitely let me know. Thanks for watching. Just one more final thought. Sorry about the sun. I'm not going to be pumping out videos on this like every week or every month or something like that. But as I get into working on this vehicle, I'll just put it up here, and hopefully sometime in the future you'll see it. So